En ze zingt werkelijk wie een engel. Geef voor een enorm applaus uit Australië, Mirusia.
I'm from Poland, so.
Yes, I'm like, honestly, it is so nice to meet someone from Poland because I have Polish heritage and my name is Polish.
Witam Was bardzo serdecznie w bardzo wyjątkowym odcinku, ponieważ dzisiaj na Kulturmaniaku moim gościem jest Mirusia Louwerse, wielka gwiazda znana chociażby z orkiestry Johanna Straussa, od Andre Rieu, jego aniołek, jak sam mówi. Welcome to my channel, Kulturmaniak. Today my guest is the one of great soprano on the whole world, the little angel from Master Andre Rieu, Mirusia Louwerse. Welcome to my channel.
Oh, it's so nice to be here with you.
Great. I have the great morning tonight, today in Poland. You are in the afternoon in Australia, yes? Great. How do you feel before?
Yes, it's actually.
How do you feel before the American tour on a couple of days? Yes.
I'm actually in Australia at the moment, so I'm now preparing for a big tour here in Australia. So because of COVID, my touring plans for 2020 were moved to 2021 and then now moved to 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So I now have 3 years of touring rolled into one. I have. Mm-hmm. Sorry, what did you?
I hear you came to US in April with Andre. That's true?
Andre Rieu is going to the USA in April, but I can't go because I have so many past 2 years and be there with them. So unfortunately, those tours, but I'll be doing so many other things here in Australia.
Mm-hmm. And we seen you on the European tour in Poland on June or not?
Probably not, because again, as I said, my tours in Australia and in the Netherlands have been postponed 3 times. Some of the concerts have been postponed. Mm-hmm. So it's making up that this year, and I'm flat chat. I have got 3 different shows on the go at the moment. So I'm touring 3 different productions at the same time. It's very, very busy.
And you have the new record, yes? The solo record. So maybe you should be thinking about representing Australia on the Eurovision Song Contest soon. I think that will be so great, and people in Europe loves you, so you have the chance to win that contest. How do you think about that?
I would love to go to Eurovision. I'm kind of a big Eurovision fan, and I love it, every year, and I've watched it since I was a young girl. But this year was someone from Australia who I've worked with this job for Australia, and
a little bit trouble being in. I can't hear everything, but okay. Okay, so you in the future try it to start of this competition or not? Because you have many time.
It would be lots of.
Can you repeat, because I don't hear you?
I love Eurovision. So I would love to represent Australia or the Netherlands in Eurovision one year. Who knows?
And maybe Poland. And maybe Poland. We are inviting you.
Look, I'll be an honorary Polish person. I'd love to.
And you are said at the moment you have the Polish name Mirusia, yes? I think that is the name of Eastern European, Central European, but I never hear that name in Poland. Is the Mirka, is Marusia, Mirusia, but Mirusia, I don't hear that. But you are half Polish too, or not?
I was born in Australia. My parents are Dutch, but my mum had a Polish dad, and he was from Warsaw. And so she wanted to name me with a Polish name, and she had a cousin called Mirusia. And so
And tell me one thing, you many times be on tour with the Andre Rieu. That Johann Strauss Orchestra is like your second family or something like that?
Absolutely. I miss them as well. I mean, the past 2 years, I've been stuck in Australia. I haven't been able to leave. And since last month, we can finally fly into international. So, yeah, it's been pretty hard to be without my second musical family, I guess.
How to be the first? Yes, I'm sorry. You can continue.
Say we have toured to Poland before, and I had such a wonderful time there, and it was absolutely amazing in Krakow. And I don't know, I think because I have the Polish heritage, I felt really at home there. And I really loved the people, I loved the food, I loved the architecture, everything around me. It was so beautiful. I had a wonderful time.
Great. Too sad to not be here this year. But if you come with Andre on the future, I of course inviting you, and maybe I can watching to you the great part of the other cities in Poland. But tell me how to be the first one to be the angel of Andre Rieu, because I watched to the TV shows which Andre preparing to your wedding, and he always talk about you. So your relationship is like father and daughter, something like that?
I'd say you could kind of compare it to that. I mean, my relationship with Andre, he's like a mentor to me, and has very much taken me under his wing musically, and really looked after me. I mean, I was 21 when I first started working with Andre, so I was very, very young, and I think he felt a responsibility towards me to look after me and make sure that I was okay. And so when it came time for me to get married, I mean, he was all in, and he wrote a beautiful song for our wedding. And he has said that he never had a daughter, and he never would get to walk on her wedding day. And so in a way, this was his chance. So I guess as his musical daughter, he walked me down the aisle to a song that he wrote, and it was very, very lovely, and it was a beautiful day, and a very special moment for us both, and also for my husband. You'll be my groom, riding away. You'll be my groom, in a balloon, just like a bird of gliding away, just as wings reach the sky.
how your connection to be wife, to be a mother, and you go on the tour of the half years. How to connection that?
It's a lot of different hats that I wear. So at home, I'm mama, and then when I'm on stage, Mirusia. You know, and then I'm also a wife, so you know, I've got that I also have to keep healthy. But the good thing is that my husband often comes on tour with me. My daughter can sometimes come on tour with us as well, and she loves the stage. But it's very funny because at home I'm mama, but when she sees me dressed up, so say I had a concert tonight and I did my hair and I was in a beautiful dress, she would say, "Oh, look, it's Mirusia." She definitely differentiates between stage and home, and so I'm mama or I'm Mirusia. If she sees me on TV, look, it's Mirusia.
That's amazing.
So it's very
really
funny. It's like, sorry, I don't like a persona. And she often will come, you know, backstage or to sound checks, and then she'll say to me, "Mama, it's my turn now. You have to share." And she wants to be very funny.
That's so funny. And tell me, it's hard to work with Andre Rieu, or is he a demanding employer?
Oh, not at all. He's wonderful to work for. I think the thing with Andre is that it's almost as though everything's a collaboration. So if I would come with an idea and say, "Hey, Andre, I want to sing this song," he'd be like, "Let me hear it, you know, let's do this." And, "Oh, how would you sing it? Oh, let's change that and do this." And everything's a collaborative piece of work. So what you see on stage as well, when you see us singing or when you see the Andre, it's all a collaborative idea, and everybody, even, you know, the violinists and everyone playing instruments, it's like, what about if I did that there? And it's just, you know, it's all very their own interpretations, but it works and it meshes. And I think the fact that Andre is open to hearing the ideas from the people who he works with, I think that that's amazing, because there's not a lot of people out there who, you know, are in control of an orchestra that would be open to hearing everybody's own ideas and interpretation. It makes a big, you know, big mashup of that, and that's what you hear. And I think that that's the magic. I think that that's what people see, that's just slightly different from what other people do, and it's wonderful. And it's taught me a lot as well as a solo artist from that. And I've learned to listen to the people that I work with and not just power through and just play it like the arrangement says. It's let's listen to each other and make something even better.
Great. You know, I remember the actor Hugh Jackman hosted the Oscars, and he said, "I'm Australian, I play like Australian, and I play the movie called Australia. And you, Australian, you singer like Australian, and you sing the song, I am from Australia, yes? I'm Australian." Yes. Do you feel that same proud? I see the concert from Sydney, and many people singing with you that song, crying. That's wonderful.
Yeah,
Really.
definitely. In Australia, we have what is called Aussie pride, and we're very proud of our country and who we are as a nation. We have a lot to offer to the world, and I think it's kind of like what I was saying before about the music. Our cultures are so different. We come from different backgrounds, different nations, different cultures. We also have our Indigenous and Torres Strait Island culture that we all embrace. And I think that that makes us one. And so as the song says, we are one, but we are many. And that is who we are as a people. And I think the Australian culture is a collaboration of so many different cultures, and that's what makes it so unique.
Yes, I sing that song every single day sometimes because I think you never on the other countries don't sing that. And I must to come someday in Australia and sing with you. I hope so. We can sing in at the short. We are one. We tried?
We are, yeah.
We are one, but we are many.
We are.
And from all the lands on earth we come. We share a dream and sing which one voice. I am, you are, we are Australian. I think we today is the half Polish too, but my voice is not perfect, and I see your ears not blooding, so I think it's not very bad. Yes. I must to teach you and learn to singing and maybe be better.
Someone on the other side of the world from Poland sing that song, even though you have no Australian blood. It's amazing, and it just shows you the power of music. I mean, that song, we're so proud about it, and we're so proud of being Australian. It was written by two wonderful Australian artists, one of them being Bruce Woodley from the Seekers, who are a wonderful group who I've actually recorded an album with all of their songs. Newton from the Bushwhackers, who's a great Australian group. So it is a song that we're very proud of here in Australia. But to hear you sing it in Poland is very special.
Great, but that will be painful for you, I think.
Very special indeed.
Thank you. So you are singing many times to the local song, like in Poland, Szła dzieweczka do laseczka. Do you can sing that? Do you remember that song for every country, for Germany, from Italy? That must be hard to learn that song, that languages.
It can be. We do like our local content, and I think it's important to connect with the nation where you are. Even be rude to not include a local's piece, don't you think? So it is really lovely to do that.
In concert, Andre, the music, the classical music is boring for the many people, and you try to have the fun on these concerts, the 3 hours, for 3 hours, and people laughing, people dancing, people singing with you. It's amazing. It's amazing how you do that.
It is amazing. And I think it's definitely, Andre's brainchild of getting classical music and putting it into a complete new form. It's about breaking down the barriers of what is classical music and what makes it so uncomfortable for somebody who isn't aware of classical music protocols. what makes it awkward for them to attend a classical show? And let's take those awkward things away and instead insert something fun. So, for example, when we do like the Skaters Waltz, it's if you just sit in black clothes and you just play it and nobody like lifts an eyebrow of the song, it's boring. But if you get ice skating and you have ice skaters on an ice skating rink doing dancing on the ice and everybody's pretending to ice skate in the orchestra and somebody's even having Jägermeister in the background, I mean, that's hilarious and that makes it really fun. And so I think, you know, that's the thing that Andre does so well, is he breaks down the barriers of protocol of classical music, and rather than making it boring for a new time classical concert goer, he actually makes it fun. And the amount of people who have gone to see a concert of Andre and gone, you know what, I now dare to go and see my local symphony orchestra perform at our local town hall because I now know what it is and I love the music. And that's wonderful. It's accessed classical music to the masses.
Mhm.
Time to say goodbye. As we can on high, adesso si vive
Do you study from school the musician or something, or maybe you have talent and Andre looking you for yes?
So how did, asking me like, how did I get the job with Andre?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically he was on television doing an interview and he said, I would like to have a new soprano. And my aunt, who lives in the Netherlands, saw him on television saying this. And she wrote him an email, because at the time you could write to a guest book, which was on his website. It's not there anymore. He was getting too many. And so she wrote and said, my niece lives in Australia and she sings. This is her website. I think she would be perfect for in your concerts. And he called me immediately because my phone number at that time was on my website. It's not there anymore.
This is an amazing story, really.
He called me and then I went to the Netherlands and that was the end of the story.
Wow. That's your dreams come true, I think.
Absolutely. I mean, I think for me as an artist, I always had big dreams. And I'm always telling young aspiring artists the same thing. Don't ever dream small. You should always dream big. Think about where you want to be and manifest it. Make it a reality. I always wanted to perform in big venues with an orchestra. And that's where I ended up. That's what I manifested in my mind. It's what I wanted to do. I never gave up on my dreams and no dream was too big. I was always making these, like I was a teenager and I was saying, let's put on a musical or let's do this. And nothing was ever, too much. It was for other people, but not for me. I was like, we can do this. Let's just do it. We'll hire the local place and we'll put on a musical. And we did. And, that's what I was always about. Just go on, do it, follow your dreams. And Andre, he never gives up on his dream. And I think he sees that in the people that he also has on stage with him. Everyone has big dreams. They're not there because they don't want to be. So, yeah.
Do you want to someday to play solo career without Andre and be so the famous like the pop stars or something like that? Do you think about that?
I'm currently busy with my solo career, and in 2010, so we're talking about 12 years ago now, can you believe it? Andre released a solo album of mine called Always and Forever. So Mirusia, Always and Forever. And it was my first big solo album that I released. And 2 weeks ago, I released my 10th solo album called Songbird. So I am very busy with my solo career. I've been in musicals, I've been doing oratorio work, I've been doing lots of concerts around the world as a soloist now. And as I said before, I'm currently on 3 different tours here in Australia, touring around, and also touring in Europe again this year. Finally, I can fly out of Australia. So very busy at the moment, concentrating on that solo career. But it doesn't mean that I've left my work with Andre behind. It just means that right now I just don't have the time.
Great. So when will be the COVID-19? You don't concerts anywhere. So do you feel some empty, some?
It was a hard time for artists across the globe. I mean, to not stay. We share a love for music and the performing arts. It was hard. I was very fortunate to be based in Australia, and especially, oh, sorry. I'll just reconnect that.
It's not a problem, okay.
To be based in Australia and to be based in the state of Queensland where I live. Brisbane is our capital city, because we had not as many COVID cases as other states or in other cities around the world. So in November of 2020, so I was able to perform again in November 2020. And I remember when we were starting to put the advertising out for that particular show, it was one of the first concerts back since COVID. We were the first concert at that particular venue in Brisbane again. So it was all like starting again. And it was very nerve-wracking because we almost thought, what if we've forgotten how? What if we forgot how to sing? So we did that. And I remember when the photos came out, people were writing to me around the world saying, how is this possible? Are these photos from a couple of years ago? This is not possible that you have a show right now. And for us, it was. So it was very, and then a couple of months later, we went with the same trend because we just continued to book and just hope that we would be able to continue. We actually filmed and recorded a live DVD and CD, which we released in June 2021. And it went to #1 on the charts here in Australia because it was one of the only concerts that was filmed that year. And it was released as a live album in 2021, which is highly unique. The audience were all able to be there. It was a full capacity, sold out crowd. And you see it on the DVD and you feel it when you listen to the live album. You feel that and the vibe in the room of people who were so excited to be back watching live music again. And for us on stage, it was the same. You know, we were so excited and thrilled to finally be performing for sold out audiences with no capacity limit. So it was excellent. And that was very unusual. And we went in and out of lockdowns after that again. And it was just, you know, navigating what we could do. And, you know, now I think the focus has shifted a little again, which is good. COVID seems to be kind of okay at the moment. So concerts are back. But in the city where I live in Brisbane, this past week, we've had floods and the floods have been absolutely horrendous. We've lost lives. People have lost their homes. In fact, all the mess you see behind me, our house flooded. So I've just got all my stuff here in this one dry room in our house. So we've had water everywhere. It's been absolutely horrendous. And it's been, you know, it's been very sad. It's been a sad week all around worldwide. So, yeah.
So now situation is terrific too, because the Russia attacked to Ukraine and we don't know what will be in the future. I hope don't be the first world war. But this is, we pray from Ukraine.
Yes, I think so, absolutely. And I honestly, as an artist and, you know, not only, but I think especially as an artist and a performer, we we definitely have a lot of sympathy and a lot of empathy, and it can really weigh on our shoulders a lot. And so having gone through 2 years of pandemic, and don't forget, before the pandemic started in Australia, we had bushfires that totally wiped out parts of Australia. So we had bushfires, then we had the pandemic, now we've had floods just this past week, and this news of, you know, imminent war. It is really, I don't even have the words. That's how I could describe it. There are no words for that.
Yes, this is a very hard times, and I remember when I hear about the first cases of COVID-19 in China, and I never imagined the 2 months later we have the lockdowns, we have the global pandemic, right? And 2 years later we have the economic trouble in all the world. So we see what happened in the Ukraine. I hope the Putin don't fight and don't attack my countries, because then he can came to across Europe and the child lose the mother, the father. Maybe the father never come back home. This is terrible times for us.
Yes. But in the meantime, I think one of the great things that we can do is we can stick together and help each other, and definitely think about, you know, what makes people uplifted, and that is to spread the love and to support one another as much as we can. So with that, I'd like to say to you, thank you so much for speaking with me today. And I send so much love from my heart in Brisbane, in Australia, to you.
What can I wish you when for the next 10 years, when you want to be? Oh, maybe that question, the final question.
I just want to be on stage anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how big or small the audience. I just want to sing and spread love through music.
So I wish you the love of music and our audience too. I wish you the love of the other peoples, and we fight for the freedom to around the world. I hope.
Absolutely.
And big luck. I hope we are seeing you in stage in Poland too soon, and maybe we met and talk face to face. I hope.
Absolutely. Stay safe. Cześć.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time and happiness in your life.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.